Hey everybody, Swish here. Well, the election has happened and it's been pretty crazy. The internet has become a firestorm. Civil war. Will it happen? I've heard a lot of talk about that, so I'm going to talk about that today on my channel, so stick with me. Hey, welcome back to Swish Outdoors and Survival. And today we're going to be talking about a couple of issues. Well, I'm going to be talking about it. And can't wait to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. The election has happened, like I said. And YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X is filled with opinions on both sides. I have personally been watching the tolerant left just have complete meltdowns. I'm sure all of you out there have watched them and been slightly entertained by them. I'm not going to lie, it was entertaining to watch. But, there's been a lot of talk about civil war. What does this have to do with my channel? Well, politics does play a role in preparedness and survival and things of that nature. So why would we not talk about it? It is part of our country. I did vote. Yes, I voted for Donald Trump. I have family members who voted for Kamala Harris. Family members who I love very much and still love, and did not remove them from social media, did not kick them out of my life, and they didn't kick me out of their lives. They're actually, good people. So I want to put that out there. I love them very much. They love me. And I know I don't believe, some of you may agree or disagree, that I don't believe that everybody who voted for Kamala wanted communism. I think some of them just didn't believe what the people on the other side were saying about her. Now, I personally believe those things. But when you understand the perspective of the people who you really know, why they vote, why they choose, you kind of go, oh, okay. At the same time, not everybody on the right who voted for Trump or on the other side who voted for Trump is a Nazi and a fascist and a misogynist. There's lots of things that they don't believe that side is saying. But that being said, the results have shown a lot of people their true colors. And I can't believe it. How many people are divorcing their spouses, not talking to their parents. I think it's really, really, really ridiculous to, ditch a family member because of I don't believe in identity politics. I'm sorry. I don't identify people by who they voted for, So I just wanted to get that. I just don't. I don't. Unless you openly admit you voted for someone because of whatever those negative things are that you think happened. Like if you think Kamala Harris is a communist and you say, I voted for her because I want communism, well, okay, that we can talk about that. That's a different story. You got a few screws loose. Or I voted for Trump because I think he's a Nazi and I want Nazism to return. Well, okay, you got a few screws loose. In my personal opinion, I don't think both candidates were just, the flaws were just insane on both sides of the spectrum. Unfortunately, in a democracy, you will always be choosing the lesser of two evils. I used to think, why vote at all if that's what you're doing? But that doesn't mean that sometimes good things can't happen because we live in a fallen world. I'm a Catholic. So I'm a Christian. Catholics are Christians. But we live in a fallen world. It's only natural that it's going to happen that way. Anyway, what does that have to do with civil war? Because that's the title of this video. Well, Trump was almost shot twice, assassinated twice. And a lot of people are thinking, okay, now that he's elected, we can relax. This next 4 years is going to coast. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that it's just going to be a relaxing 4 years. There's an old saying that if you wound the devil, there's going to be hell to pay. They tried to shoot him before he was president. Now that he's going to be in there, they might even try again. I mean, now it'd give them any more reason, all the more reason to try. That's how bad they don't want him, you know. All the indictments, all of the things, all of that, you know. Could a presidential assassination, I'm not saying that's going to happen, and I hope that doesn't happen. I don't wish that on anybody in that sense, but could that spark a civil war? Or a war in general? I don't know. The Sarajevo event sparked World War I. One shot. I know a lot of people are thinking about it, prepping for civil war. And my thoughts on that are this. You don't want a civil war. You don't. I know I'm kind of going to paraphrase Mel Gibson in the movie The Patriot, but he brings a good point. We have become too used to fighting wars on other lands. If a civil war were to happen, it would be like the first one, and like the Revolutionary War, it would happen on American soil, in our backyards. I've been to places like Iraq, Afghanistan, where people who live there saw war happening in their backyards. That's what we would experience. That's that side of it. You don't want that. You're not ready for it. It will be bad. You know, a lot of these people going on the internet talking about, you know, I hope you have bad pregnancies and, you know, saying horrible things because, you know, of how everything turned out. I mean, look at these people. You know, these are the tolerant people. Some of them are talking about civil war. I don't know about that one. I think that one might be a hoax. I don't know yet. Well, I watched it. I thought it sounds like a hoax that he's mocking them. I don't know. But, you know, it was crazy, some of the things they were saying. Turning on, you know, all the people who they thought were uneducated, now they're mocking people who don't have a college degree, who, you know, because whatever. But I go on and on about that. But conflict due to a civil war is something that, in my opinion, should be avoided at all costs. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't prepare for one if it happened and continue to train. I think this community, the survival, the outdoor, needs to stay prepared as much as you can. Train, get knowledge, build your community. But also work to avoid that kind of a conflict at the same time. I think that's one thing that we're not talking about a whole lot, is even though we're prepping, we're training, we're gaining knowledge, learning how to grow our own food, learning how to self-sustain each other, homesteading, whatever it is, the other side of it is, what are we doing to take preventative measures for this not to happen? Do we really want it to happen? I don't. I don't want my kids growing up in that kind of environment. I don't want my 8-year-old son watching bloodshed in our backyard. No. I don't care who's president. Now, does that mean if it happens that I won't take up? Obviously I would. But ultimately I don't want it. It would be a horrible thing for this country. And I think our enemies overseas would seize that opportunity if that happened here. I don't know if they would or not. But it's something that I was thinking about, you know. this is kind of, I haven't planned anything. I didn't plan to do a video tonight. I kind of waited. It's actually Saturday night. The election, was this week. I waited for things to kind of waited to see what was going to happen. Watching people's reactions to other people's reactions. I'm not necessarily celebrating that who I vote for won. Do I believe that him being in office would be, I don't know, would I be able to function? It's so hard to say. It really is. Do I think that out of the two, he's the better? Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But do I think that it's a problem solver? No. And I see too many people go, oh, we can relax, we can coast, we got 4 years of peace. No, we don't have 4 years of peace. Bad things can still happen. Just as when Biden was in office, here's the thing. I remember when in 2020, a lot of people thought it was going to be terrible. And there were a lot of terrible things that happened. The Afghanistan thing that happened, that really pissed me off. But there were some good things that happened even when a guy like him was in office. When he was in office, Indiana became a constitutional carry state. Roe v. Wade was overturned. Yes, I support that. A lot of you don't understand Roe v. Wade. It didn't ban abortion, okay? First of all, I'm just going to give you my opinion. Abortion is murder. I don't care what any situation is. That's a different topic. I'm not going to go into that. I believe it is murder. You're taking a human life, an innocent human life. You're dismembering an innocent human life. That being said, he gave it to the states. The states have rights. That's what this country was founded on, states' rights. That's why we have governors in a state, so that state can govern themselves like-minded people. That was the whole point. Not for people to come in to these states and say, no, you have to cling to our ideologies. Cheers, by the way. Maker's Mark 46. Thank you. But what do you guys think in the comments? Let me know what you think. You think I'm way off base here? Yeah, I think a civil war would be terrible for this country in any case. I just don't, but a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are saying, we're going to fight. We're not going to let you. We're going to do this. It could get to, you see the tolerant left. They're talking about violence. They're talking about, we're going to do all these things. We're going to, we've seen what happens when COVID, we've seen what happened, when someone got shot. We saw those things happen. Burning buildings, things of that. Protesting in the streets, getting violent. I'm not saying it's going to get worse. I don't know. Yes, continue to train, continue to prep. But I think the one thing we also need to discuss is what can we do to prevent this from even happening so we don't have to have a civil war or any war for that matter. Like I said, I don't want my kids going. I hope that doesn't make me sound like a hippie or something, That's not what I'm talking about here. But the reality is, who does really want war? Who wants, who wants that for society? You should be ready to fight it. There's the old saying, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. My thoughts on the election, civil war. And I'm going to leave you with something that I found. I don't know who originally said this, but it was really, really great. And I'm just going to read this. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. To everyone considering a civil war from all sides, here is some advice to consider from a veteran. Many of us served and fought in war. When our time was done, we came back to the U.S. to start over and live in peace, which is a difficult task considering what we've been through already. It wasn't us who overturned Roe v. Wade, invaded the Capitol, shot up a school, kneeled on the neck of a man until he died, or retaliated by kneeling on the neck of a toddler saying, BLM now, MF. The truth is, war is hell. Millions of you do not and cannot grasp this concept. We have been to hell, lived in hell, climbed out of hell, and we will not hesitate to enter back into hell, even though we prefer not to. If you keep trampling on the peace we fought for, earned, and loved, then when that first shot gets fired, you will force us back into hell, and we will show you the brutal realities of hell. You all better work this shit out before we do, because I guarantee you, as much shit as you talk, none of you are really ready for it. If you don't believe me, feel free to travel to a war-torn country and see for yourself. That's what I wanted to leave with you guys today. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. I'm looking forward to hearing you guys. And until my next video, hope you guys have a good one. And keep training. Swish out.